Welcome to a new episode of Ausfahrt.tv in English. You might want to know Ausfahrt.tv means actually Exit TV and not Ausfahrt.tv. Anyway, for those of you who have problems with my strong accent, please just watch our German clips. We are here in Portugal today and we had the opportunity to drive the M3 and the M4 Coupe. So since we drove the M3 yesterday, today we're gonna focus on the M4 Coupe for you guys, and this for a good reason. The M3 was introduced by BMW in 1985. M stands for motorsport, and the car was very successful in touring motorsport. This year the M3 as the F30 was introduced, and as you all know, BMW split its sedan, which is still known as or named M3, and the Coupe as well as the convertible, who now are called M4. And in Germany, the DTM Touring Championship is a very popular motorsport event where the M3 was very successful with all 5 generations, well, with all 4 generations. And now in the 5th generation, they switched from the M3 to the M4, and the first race was already won by the new M4 in the DTM. Well, the M3 and the M4 Coupe are pretty much the same cars. They have different shapes, but the platform is the same, the engine is the same, and all the values are pretty much the same. And the big difference is, do you give 2 more people a ride very often, or are you just driving by yourself or with just your partner? So if 2 doors are enough for you, then you might want to take the Coupe. If you need 4 doors, you rather take the M3. BMW is proud to say that the engine is full of motorsport DNA. The 6-cylinder has 431 horsepower and a maximum torque of 550 Newton meters. And if you drive this car through the curves, you feel the torque very much. The acceleration, you can accelerate from 0 to 100 in just 4.1 seconds. Same for the M4 Coupe as well as the M3 sedan. And the maximum speed, the top speed, is limited to 250 kilometers per hour. And if you make a driving lesson school, a package that BMW offers, you can open it up to a top speed of 280 kilometers per hour. Well, as you can see, not only the exterior and the interior is filled with carbon fiber parts, also in the motor compartment you find carbon fiber visible over here, but even down under the engine, just to make the whole car more stiff. Let me point out some differences between the regular M4 Coupe and the M4 Coupe. Starts with a hood, which is shaped in a different way. We need a little bit more space here. And believe me, when you sit inside and look on the streets, you see stick up, and it gives you a good feeling. Then of course we have the new made front bumper, which looks much more aggressive and gives the engine as well as the brakes a little bit more air, just a little bit, haha. We have of course the M4 badge in the grille. We have full LED headlights, which really look nice, at least in my opinion. And we have 19-inch alloy wheels, and behind the wheels you see a big carbon fiber ceramic brake. Besides that, you find the badge, the M4 badge as well here. And as you know from the second M3, the back mirrors, the rear mirrors are, well, today something iconic. A lot of tuners try to copy them. BMW now made a totally new version, a little bit like a wing, like a sailing ship, and I personally like them a lot. Well, this is the way most people will probably see the M4 vanishing from the back. And And you recognize the M4, of course, by a new, more aggressive, more sportive shaped rear bumper and the 4 exit pipes. We were yesterday in the mountains here in Portugal, and I was filming the M3, and it really makes a really cool noise when the car's vanishing on one part of the mountains while you stand on the other one and film it. Besides, the hood of the trunk is totally new for the M4 version. It's different from the normal model. It's lightweight and the spoiler is integrated in the hood itself. And of course you have the M4 badge here as well. Talking about differences to the normal model, you hardly see it here because the engineers did such a nice job. But since we have much wider tires, they had to pull out the whole side a little bit, up to 4 centimeters. It was even a more interesting job from the sedan, because they have the back door, and the back door is a part from the normal 3 Series, and they had to pull out the sides for 4 centimeters, and it looks pretty good. They did a really good job. And here, look at the line. It's just a clean line and looks amazing to me. I like how the engineers think and work. Everyone who's involved in motorsport, or at least is interested in motorsport, knows the green hell, the Nordschleife, Nürburgring. And the M3, the new M3 and the new M4 Coupe were tested over and over, kilometer by kilometer, over 10,000 kilometers on the Nordschleife. And BMW even invited their DTM drivers to help them with the final setup. So this car is not only made for driving and cruising on the streets, of course, it is actually made for a racetrack, even if it's not a race car. And we know you pretty much expect us to spin wheels, drift through the curves, but no, that's not our way to review a car. We pretty much look at what you do with the car while you're not on the racetrack. We give you an insight now. How is the car inside? How does it feel? What is it like to drive in the car in the regular life? So I invite you to have a look with me in the inside now. To be honest, I'm a big Mercedes-Benz fan. I might be not the right person. That's at least what I thought when before I entered the M4 Coupe. But everything is so nice. You get in the car, you have this very comfortable, tight seats. They're not racing seats, but at least sport seats, and you really sit comfortable on one side, but on the other side you have all the side supports. So even when you drive in fast curves, you don't scoot around, you just sit there. You become one with the car. This is really neat. Another thing I really like is a steering wheel. Of course it's leather, but it's kind of soft leather, so when you really put your hands in the wheel, you kind of grip in the wheel, and that helps you driving and especially when you have curvy roads to get the steering right. The whole inside is full of carbon fiber, of course, and leather, and it gives you such a premium appeal that it's just, well, it's not cozy because it's a sport car, but you feel really comfortable. Something else I really enjoy from BMW, the whole middle part is a little bit faced towards the driver, while other car manufacturers just put it in the center so everyone can watch in the same level. BMW is supporting the driver and giving it all information and all the elements a little bit turned to the driver, which is really comfortable for driving. The gauges are really clear and crisp, and you have little digital displays underneath them, and you get all the information you need And of course, BMW is not only the first who introduced head-up display in the cars, they're doing a really good job. The head-up is working so nicely, it's very crisp, it's not disturbing at all, and you get all the information, your speed, directions from the GPS system, as well as traffic signs, like at least speed limits that are recognized by the camera, and they are shown in the display as well. Let me show you a little bit more about the car, especially how much space you have, how many departments you have. Since you're not always on the racetrack, you have to get to the racetrack, and maybe sometimes you just take the car for a ride around the city. So in the door panels we have the possibility to store bottles up to a liter at least, and you still have more space, for instance for warning vest or your wallet or whatever. You have 2 more cup holders in the middle. And if you have little bottles, they will be shaking around, but at least a standard can is sitting here very well, at least somehow tight. It's not disturbing while you drive. There's a little compartment behind those cup holders. I don't know, it's probably used to be the ashtray. You have a 12-volt outlet here as well. Of course, you have your armrest, and under the armrest there's a little space. Well, you can hook up your iPhone when you have one, and there's a USB outlet for the infotainment system. But unfortunately there's not more space, so what you know from other cars where you can leave a whole bunch of stuff, maybe even your purse in there, there's not much space in here. Of course we have the gloves department, but believe me, there's not much space in here either. So especially in the Coupe and the sedan, you at least have the back seats that you can reach easily through the back doors. While here you have to flip your front seat, which is a kind of, well, you know, not very comfortable. So space is pretty limited in here. Well, the reason why we have so little space in here is the carbon drive shaft, which is underneath this part here, this area here, and goes of course from the engine through the from the transmission to the rear axles. Besides that, just let me point out, we have sun shields here, and they even have a little mirror on both sides that are illuminated by LED lamps, little LED lamps, and we have reading lights here on both sides as well. One thing, buckling up is a little bit painful because you have to lean back a little bit to get the belt, but I want to show you at least that even people who like to eat a lot have enough belt to buckle up in a safe way. Okay, while getting in the car is already a little bit tricky on the front seats because of the nice sports seats. Getting into the rear compartment, at least for an old man like me, is not too much fun. But you have a little switch here so you can scoot the seat forward and backward in an electrical way. I just wanted to keep this position because I just sat there. I'm 5'11", and sitting behind me now, still being 5'11", you can see I have plenty of leg room. But the headspace, well, there's no headspace for me. I'm bumping at the ceiling. So even if I lean back a little bit, it's not too much fun to ride in the back for a grown-up. Besides that, I don't even know where to put my soft drink because there's no place for a soft drink here. We have no cup holders in the back. We have a 12-volt outlet and a little compartment here. Besides that, there's nothing. So if you have family, if you have kids, you rather pick the M3 over the M4. But if you don't like your mother-in-law, she will be fine in here as well. At least we have reading lights in the back as well, but that's pretty much it. Okay, just for your entertainment, I'm getting out of the car as well. And as you see, now, as a way to pull the seat forward just a little bit, and now it's easy access as well. Okay, let me show you the trunk. By the way, the color is called Austin Yellow, Austin by the racetrack in Texas, and the blue from the sedan is called Yasmina Blue from the racetrack in Dubai. So let me open the trunk. Oops. The trunk is actually pretty big for a coupe. It swallows up to 445 liters, while the sedan gives you a little bit more space. Those you can fit up to 480 liters in the sedan. But as you can see, while I unload our equipment, you get even a jumbo-sized suitcase in there. And I think, especially when you travel with two persons to the next racetrack, you have plenty of space for all your luggage. And even if you want to go to some place where you're buying something which is a little bit longer, you have the opportunity to flip the back seats very comfortable from the trunk, just pulling the trigger. I hope you can see me. Just flip the back seats so we can put in objects up to a length of 160 centimeters, and they shouldn't be wider than 90 centimeters. If you flip back the seats again, you still have a surface in the trunk that has 90 to 80 centimeters. Okay, back in our stuff again, and let me just tell you one word. The roof is made out of carbon fiber as well. Why? Well, they try to reduce the weight where they can. And BMW claims that the M3, M4 have the best weight performance ratio in their class. Well, the problem of nowadays cars, as you know, is that all the security guidelines demand parts in the car that makes the car really heavy. And now the sport cars have to be reduced in the weight to, on one hand, stand up for all the standards, the security standards, and on the other hand, have a minimum weight for best performance. So BMW, the M company, managed to keep the weight on 1.5 tons for such a premium high-performance cars with all the parts in there. And you can still load up to 540 kilos in the car. So you can even travel with the car. The Coupe doesn't even have so much space for so much weight, I guess. While the sedan, by the way, you can put up to 580 kilos in the sedan. How did they manage this? Well, carbon fiber, high performance steel, and a lot of alloy. Okay, but no more talking about the outside, exterior, interior, blah, blah, blah. Let's take this baby finally for a little ride. Well, I now had the opportunity to drive the BMW M4 Coupe for quite a while, for 2 hours, maybe 1.5. And I can't really tell you much about the driving, just, well, a little bit at least. I told you we're in Portugal, and the speed limit here on the country roads is 90 kilometers per hour, and even on the highway it's 120 kilometers per hour. That's why BMW invited us to a racetrack, but we had the chance to either go to the racetrack or make a video, film a video for you, and we decided for the video. So here I am with a little experience. First of all, you gotta know that you can modify the steering as well as the suspension and the engine plus transmission. We have a 7-speed automatic transmission in here, but you can order the M4 as well as the M3 with a manual 6-speed as well. You can modify all this electronically. So you can either choose Comfort, Sport or Sport Plus. So for instance, the steering, when you use it in Comfort, it's all easy to steer. If you go in Sport or even Sport Plus, it gets very, very direct. And it's a pleasure to drive this car in Sport Plus through curvy roads because the steering is reacting just like you want it. I told you I'm not a BMW guy too much. But once you sit in here, you start the engine, the sound of the engine, especially in Sport Plus, is really cool and amazing. Amazing, even inside. So once you sit here, start the engine, resistance is futile. You know, you want to say, no, I don't like it, it's a BMW, but it's really cool and awesome. You get just one with the car, and especially on these neat little roads we found here, it's an amazing driving experience. I told you we have the carbon fiber ceramic brakes in here, and they really brake. I mean, they really slow you down in the best way I've experienced in a long time. The suspension is pretty hard, stiff, especially in Sport Plus. In Sport Plus, you can warm it up, Chris, because everything else is just jumping around in your seat all the time. But when you switch into Comfort, you can even travel, I think, a longer distance without hurting your back anyhow. And there's nothing bad, or there's no complaint about the engine and the automatic transmission. You can either use this little jog shuttle to shift or the pedals. However you do it, it's working just fine. By the way, a neat little feature. On the steering wheel I have 2 buttons, M1 and M2, that I can configure in a way I want to. So the guys from BMW configured it this way that on the first button you have the comfort mode, and on the second button it goes all in Sport Plus. And you gotta know, especially if you like being on racetracks or have your own tracks that you like to ride, that you can disable ESP pretty much. It's not disabled 100%, but very much so. If you know what you're doing, you can have lots of fun in this car. Well, I hope you forgive me my strong German accent and you still enjoyed this short little review of the BMW M4 Coupe. Still, there's more to come from us. I hope I see you back. Please like our review. Please comment if you have any questions. And if you haven't done it yet, make sure you subscribe our channel. See you next time. Bye-bye. Even so, we present you the car just as a regular Coupe. You should know, nein, das ist Schwachsinn. Helping the engineers with the final with the final setup. And